Annette?
Yeah, thank you. I'm trying to just make sure my thoughts are organized, and I'll probably talk about some things somewhat different from what Doug covered. So local bargaining and state level lobbying. I think for either one, it is just vital that you know what the members want. And so that requires a lot of conversation, a lot of surveying, a lot of just, listening at the water fountain, which doesn't actually exist anymore. But make sure that there's a lot of preparation that happens, and that when you go into bargaining or you go to Olympia to lobby, you know what it is you're fighting for, and you've also made it clear to the members that you heard them, because that's how they're going to get involved and support what's going on. I also was thinking there are different levels of power or different systems that we can use. So a lot of what we do happens at the local bargaining level. But then there's a lot that is also going to happen at the state level. And when we have a common interest across the state, that's where we should be gathering together and bringing everyone's voice to that same goal. For example, right now we're working on getting the part-time faculty to get 85% of what the full-timers get, equal pay for equal work. And so we all have to understand what that goal is and speak with one voice to do that. Another tool that hasn't come up yet that has been used at times is lawsuits against the state. And those are, there would be a very specific issue where you could go and fight that. The one that I recall had to do with benefits, that benefits were not being calculated consistently from one college to another. So we took that to a lawsuit and forced the issue. So I believe it's both for health insurance and for retirement. Now there are standard calculations for how people earn those. So that was another way to use our power to make progress for adjunct faculty. Maybe I'll speak to open bargaining for a moment, because we're doing it now for the first time. And it really has been a fight to get the sessions open and to figure out who can be there and what participation can they have. And so we limit our open sessions to the faculty members of our unit. Nobody from the public is invited in. And you really want to be careful that you're not letting somebody from the Freedom Foundation come in and see what's going on. So only people from within the bargaining unit, they don't get to actively participate. Only the members of the teams get to do that. And we even turn off the chat. So our members who want to observe have another way to communicate with each other, but it's not within the Zoom system. I think a really important thing to keep in mind in both bargaining and in lobbying at the state level is to speak honestly about our system and how abusive it is to part-time and contingent faculty. It is abusive, and we shouldn't let anybody off the hook for that. And it is a nationally abusive system, so we're fighting an uphill battle. But we should be honest about what we see and what we experience, because we're working in a system like that. To make people wonder every 10 weeks whether they still have employment is cruel. To pay people, to underpay people for their expertise, for their education, for the service they bring is simply not acceptable. And we can't talk about it enough. So I think, look at all the different ways that it does not serve faculty, and then it also doesn't serve students well, and talk about it a lot and educate the community about it, because they don't know. Maybe some of our students know, but even most of them don't know how bad it can be. So leverage that information and educate as many people as you can to it. And one of the reasons it's so important is when the system is abusive to such a huge number of our employees, it drags the whole system down. So even full-time faculty are harmed by it. They don't have enough full-time colleagues to do all the work that has to be done. They are overburdened and just struggling very badly too. So, what I think we need to define, what is a good job? What's a good faculty job? And then we should advocate for as many people as possible to have a good job in this system. I think I'll stop there.
Wow, you made a lot of really, really important points, and some of those really hit close to my heart.